If he learns that a nuclear bomb will explode in his city in 10 minutes, what else can he do but wait for death? It is well known that nuclear bombs are the most powerful weapons humanity can create. In international disputes, there is nothing a nuclear bomb can't solve. If there is, then just use two. A certain island nation must have deep experience with this. However, when it comes to two bombs, one must mention the legendary figure, Yamaguchi Tsutomu. There have only been two real nuclear explosions in human history. Yamaguchi Tsutomu was a draftsman at Mitsubishi Heavy Industries on August 6, 1945. He had just finished a business trip in Hiroshima. He was preparing to return to Nagasaki. On his way to the station, he saw a bright flash in the sky. Then he was hit by the first atomic bomb. The next day, he took a government evacuation train back to Nagasaki. He arrived at his company on August 9. He reported his experience in Hiroshima to his superior. His superior clearly did not believe him. What kind of bomb has such power? However, just as his superior finished speaking, Yamaguchi saw that familiar flash in the sky again. Same formula, same flavor. He got hit again. This time, the nuclear explosion was only 3 kilometers away. In front of a nuclear explosion, Yamaguchi was in the red zone. Yet he had no injuries. In the end, he lived to be 94. What can be said? Is he lucky? He survived 2 atomic bombs. Is he unlucky? He endured 2 atomic bombs. Back to the initial question. If a nuclear bomb is set to explode in his city in 10 minutes, it depends on where he is. If he is in a remote area, he doesn't have to worry, the bomb won't reach him. As long as it's not a bomb in the countryside, there is nothing to fear. Of course, even in a medium or large city, it depends on the situation. If he is very unlucky and directly under the explosion center, the situation is quite desperate. Surviving would be very difficult. And he has only 10 minutes. Besides taking 600 seconds to breathe, there isn't much he can do. The only thing left is to close the door and do something interesting alone. In the remaining 8 minutes, he might enjoy the view one last time. Then, as a mushroom cloud, he could observe from 0 distance. Of course, there would be no pain. The heat radiation from the explosion would instantly raise the air to over 3,000 degrees. The shockwave would hit him in an instant. It would be quick. He would be vaporized instantly. His brain wouldn't even realize before he lost consciousness. But if he is at a distance from the explosion center, the situation is completely different. The potential damage includes 4 types: light and heat radiation, shockwaves, blast, radiation and subsequent nuclear fallout. The power of the shockwave decreases with the cube of the distance. That means the farther away he is, the weaker the shockwave becomes. For a conventional 50-kiloton nuclear warhead, the explosion fireball covers about 3 square kilometers. The radius of serious injury is about 6 kilometers. As long as he is more than 6 kilometers from the explosion center, he can still be rescued. The most effective way is to hide in the city's air raid shelters or civil defense facilities. Never expose himself on the ground. If he stands still on the ground during the explosion, the overpressure will quickly expand, and the subsequent negative pressure will tear his body apart. There's even a chance he might expel his organs, even if he avoids the shockwave, gamma rays, and fast neutrons. They will still penetrate his cells. Inside the cells, they will wreak havoc on the DNA. However, hiding in a civil defense facility, the reinforced concrete will greatly weaken the shockwave and block most early radiation. But if he doesn't know where the shelter is, he can directly hide in the underground parking lot. Now, many residential areas have to be equipped with shelters. There are often supplies like water and food in the trunk of cars. Some owners might even stock liquor for emergencies. With these supplies, he can manage for a while. Of course, before hiding in the garage, he must bring his pets along, like cats or dogs. After all, they are lives too. Without humans, they would certainly suffer. Most importantly, if he stays too long in the shelter, food will run out. They can serve as reserves. After getting out, he will face the next generation issues. Generally, after 3 to 4 weeks, the natural radiation levels in the air will drop to non-lethal levels. He can gradually come out to check the surroundings. Of course, risks still exist, so the wisest choice is to wait for rescue. Inhaling nuclear dust too soon could pose serious risks. If he still doesn't quite understand, he can refer to the guidebook published last century. It details how to survive a nuclear explosion. Note, this is not an advertisement. Finally, the social order after a nuclear explosion may temporarily collapse. So preparing some weapons for self-defense is necessary. A legal weapon can help calm many people down. Having a wrench on him is reasonable. Name 5 people who would be startled.